Hello everyone and welcome to a new video of Python tutorials for beginners series. In this video we will be covering single and multi-line comments and how to implement them in Python, as well as some keyboard shortcuts to implement those comments faster. I just thought I had to talk about comments in a Python tutorials for beginners series, because comments are not only important in Python, but they're so important in programming in general. So let's get started by doing a quick sample of a single line comment. And let me zoom in. So in Python, we write a comment by first typing the number sign or the hashtag. Then we can write whatever we want to write inside the comment. So let's say first comment for a comment. And now this is our comment. And by making this comment, right now when we run the program, nothing will happen. We will get no outputs or no errors as well. But instead, if we didn't put the number sign, and if we made a program like this, and when we ran it, as you can see, we are already getting some errors and we would get a syntax error. That's why in Python, putting in a number sign lets us write any text we want inside our code. But why are comments useful and what are their use cases? So comments are useful in many ways, and one of which is describing what your code is doing. So let's say we have a code of creating a variable named num and giving it a value 5. So now right here with our single line comment, we could actually describe what this line of code is doing. So let's say creating variable num. And by writing this comment, we actually let whoever is reading our code, it might be ourselves in the future, or it might be other developers, and we just let these people or developers know what we are intending to do with this line of code. And this is actually so helpful because not every developer thinks the same way, and these comments are ways to express what the developer was thinking while writing this line of code. Now, obviously, this line of code is very simple and it will be interpreted the same way by any developer. But if this code was more complex, there might be a need of explanation there. So let's also write another single line comment, and let's say printing num. And as we have explained our comment, let's print num. So now when we run the program, as you can see, none of the comments are actually impacting the way the program is run, and these won't be seen in the output, but only the num will be printed and the value we're getting is 5. It would be the same way if we didn't write the comments as well. And also now I want to talk about another use case of comments, which is disabling a piece of code from running. So let's say we have this print line of code here, and we just don't want it to run. So we could easily remove this line of code, and it's a solution as well, and now it won't run, obviously. But we might need this line of code in the future, but we just don't want to run it now. So a solution to this would be just commenting this line out. And when we comment it out, as you can see, the comments don't affect the program's output. So when we run the file again, as you can see, there won't be any output, but we still get to keep this line of code, and whenever we want to enable this code running, we just need to remove the number sign or the hashtag, and now the line of code is running again, and the output is here. So in addition to single line comments, we also have multi-line comments, and this enables us to write multiple lines inside of a single comment block. So how we can write this is by quotation marks, and double quotes or single quotes doesn't matter for this comment syntax. And we can just write, in this case, I wrote double quote, and whatever we write inside, so let's say multi-line comment, and this won't get executed or won't get into the output at all. So this is exactly the same way as a single line comment, but it enables you to write comments in multiple lines. And this could also be with single quotation marks, and now it works the exact same way. You can write anything inside this. And these multi-line comments usually are used for explaining more complex code or maybe more than a single line of code. So if we had a loop that went from 10 to 1 with a negative 1 step, let's say, we might need to explain what this code is doing. So in our multi-line comments, we could say start points, and that's 10. So we could write final point, and that's 1. And the step is negative 1. So this way, we actually documented this loop's range and now it will be easier to read by any developer or yourself in the future. And I keep saying yourself because even you will struggle while reading your code in the future because some time will be passed and you will forget what you intended to do on that line of code. And you may want to get an explanation on that, but since there are no comments, it will take time for you to understand what that line of code is doing. So in that sense, comments are really useful. Also, especially in Visual Studio Code, there are some keyboard shortcuts that you can use for comments. So in order to open that keyboard shortcuts, you can do Control K and Control S, and this will open all the keyboard shortcuts in Visual Studio Code. And when you search for comment, you will see that adding a line command is Control key plus Control C, and removing line command is Control key Control U. So by knowing this, we could just select all these codes, and when we say Control K Control C, now as you can see, both of the lines are commented. And when we do Control K Control U, now they are uncommented back again. And this can help you a lot if you want to comment many lines into single line comments. This will be very useful and a lifesaver for you. Thanks a lot for watching the video. I thought comments were actually a very important aspect of programming and you might need them in the future. Using them really helps you a lot while documenting your code. So if you like this video, please don't forget to leave a like and share it with your friends. And if you're looking forward for more Python content, you can subscribe and turn on the bell notifications in order to get notified when I upload the new videos on this Python series. And I hope to see you in the next video.